So next up, I received a bunch of questions about my indoor vermicompost greenhouse. As you can see, it does have a full cover on it. Some days if it gets a little warm in there, I'll open it up during the day. I did put this all together myself, just using some materials I found around the house. Alright, so now we got the cover up and you can see a little bit better. Down below I have just a 30-gallon storage bin that has some holes drained in the bottom for drainage. And then below that I have another storage bin. That one has no holes in it, that just catches the runoff. And then there is a few little like support things underneath just to keep it kind of raised up off the bottom bin to make sure it has enough room to, again, drain out. It will drain down in there quite a bit depending on how frequently I water it, but I will use any drainage from there to also water around with my other plants to kind of feed them, because as I mentioned, this is vermicompost, so I have quite a healthy population of red wiggler worms in here. So just to empty that out, I have a few little syringes here. I'll just put it into the corner, bring it out, and then put it right into my watering can to spread around to the other plants. So on to watering. You can see this is mostly cucumbers in here. I have a few different varieties I've been messing with. Over here on this side, these are a bait alpha cucumber variety. Those ones seem to be a little less reliable. They were much slower to get started and seem to have a lower germination rate as opposed to these ones that I have over here on the other side. The cucumbers over here on this side is a variety called a mini me F1 variety, and those have been working very great for me. They've been producing lots. As you can see, they are covered in blossoms, and now that it has been getting some fruit fully matured, I've been getting about 6 to 7 harvested off a week of the mini cucumbers. Also in the corner here, I have a celery that was just restarted from the end of a celery from the grocery store. As you see, it's getting quite tall. That was all the way down here in the corner, and it's growing up all the way up to here now. So I just waited for that to fill out a little more before I get to harvesting that. Up in the front, I have a little bit started up here. There are a few different varieties, but there's a dwarf variety of romaine, as well as a buttercrunch lettuce and some spinach as well. The green varieties haven't seemed to do as well down here now that the cucumbers have matured, just because the lights up here, as you can see, I have a full set of 5 on this that I can raise and lower as needed, as well as 3 additional ones up top, but it still just doesn't seem to be quite enough to get down here to those greens to make them fully fill out well enough. But it's been something getting off of it. Other question I received was about the vermicomposting aspect of it. So this is actually my compost bin. It was just a simple off-brand Rubbermaid pitcher that I had drilled holes into the sides and the bottoms, and then when I set the bin up, I had buried it down into the corner here. So I kind of call this my worm mess hall. The worms are able to go in there and munch down on any of the compost that I add into there. It's just a variety of fruits and vegetable scraps, as well as some dried grasses and various things that I've gotten off other plants. Once that does fill up and they've kind of eaten everything out, then I can take that out and I've got some fresh worm casting compost to add again to any new plants that I get started off. So in the back, I just have a simple lattice panel that I got from Menards, and I cut out these little cocoa coir fiber matte stars. Originally, I was growing pothos on this, and the pothos, if you know, it has roots that will kind of tap into the trees as they grow up, and so that was the idea, is that they could grow into the coconut core. It has worked a little bit with the cucumbers, and they're able to wrap around those to hang up themselves a little bit, but I also have them tied up with little pieces of yarn and twine just to keep them up and where I need them to go. Some of the vines have gotten rather long, so once they've reached up to about as tall as I want them to go, then I just kind of flip and bend them down around, and then I'll bring them down to make another strand. Once they can't come down long enough, like you'll see this one here, it needs to go up again soon, so it went up, and then I brought it down, and now it's coming down here, and then I'll bring it back up again until it gets long enough to bring it back down again. So just kind of weaving them up and down to fill out the full greenhouse. Over on this side, I just have a little bit of twine here that I kind of weave in the branches on this side to keep them up and kind of expand the side, so it's not just the back that they're on, but as well as this side here. Lastly, in this corner, I have a few sort of potatoes growing here. You can see they're getting a bit taller than you want them to until you add the next layer. They already have 2 layers, so first off, I had cut up some golden potatoes on the first layer, and then once they had grown up tall enough, then I added some other. There was assorted fingerling potatoes of different varieties. So in a few days, I'll be cutting up some more straw to add in our 3rd and final layer to them. Other thing I have going in this corner is a few oyster mushrooms. So these are 2 bags that I was kind of experimenting with, seeing if I could get to inoculate with some coffee grounds off of an old block that I had. Though they are getting a little bit of mycelium growth on there, but I think we'll just have to wait and be patient a little bit longer to see how those turn out. Below that as well, I have 2 other, these are my other oyster mushrooms. One is a pearl oyster and the other is a pink oyster. And those, as long as you are regularly misting them and keeping them in like a fruiting chamber or like a bag like this to keep them hydrated, they are pretty plentiful in their harvest. Again, that's just been a little bit of a side experiment. Don't have a ton of experience with oyster mushrooms, so if you have any tips, please let me know.
So that is it for this part of my garden tour. I hope you enjoyed and hopefully learned something, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.